the Care Girl podcast and experience.
Hi, it's the Care Girl. I'm here in Alpharetta at Besowell with Dr.Tru. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing well. It's so hot outside. Feels good in here though. Tell us about Besowell. I came across your page from Dr. Sarah Druckman. I saw her here and I said, let me come by because I'm all about biohacking and looking young, even though I'm only, 30-ish or whatever, but I started a journey on my own, like just trying to figure out like how to feel better, how to eat better, nutrition, things of that nature. And I see that you all go by like conscious medicine. Like tell us about like how you got on that journey and where you're going with it in your vision today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being here today. It's really great to be with you. So I actually was a family medicine doctor, and in my first 3 years of practicing, I saw a trend. I saw that my patients weren't getting better. I was putting them on more drugs and more drugs every time I see them. And part of why I became a doctor, and I wanted to become a doctor since I was 11, and I wanted to be a healer. I really wanted to make people better, and I really want to be able to like look at people and like see what they're dealing with and be able to say like, this is what's going on and this is what you need to do to heal yourself. And I think the healthcare model that I was in just wasn't allowing for that to happen. So then I was like, I think I'm in the wrong field. But honestly, at the time, I had invested in so much money, so much time, and study, and my life had been put into that. And luckily, I came across functional medicine. And when I started practicing functional medicine, I kind of just started introducing the nutrition piece, the lifestyle piece, and I saw my patients get better. And I was like, oh my, this is something that's definitely missing. So I shifted over and I got more training in functional medicine. And then in the process, I was going through my own journey, right? So I had a lot of health issues requiring surgery. I was told I couldn't have kids, and I ended up having a kid, and then I ended up healing myself of all the things that I was dealing with. But inside of really on my path in practicing functional medicine, I saw that it's really, I have to integrate different modalities, because like there's so many powerful modalities out there, and I'm one of those people, I want to know it all. And so whatever I learn, I integrate it into my practice. So that's why I do integrative holistic functional medicine. And then in that process, I saw that our environment, our society is designed to literally make us sick.
Ooh, that's we're gonna pause on that one. Our environment is literally meant to make us sick.
Yes.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, right? And so there were so many factors that I have to manage for my patients for them to get better that I'm like, you know what? I need a store. I had my practice and I was like, I need a place where I can share with my patients, like these are all the things that you have to integrate into your life to really sustain the results we were getting. The results were easy because like once you shift your lifestyle, you support the body and you give it what it needs, like nourish it, the body will start to heal. But the thing is, it's easy to fall back to the old lifestyle because that's all we're surrounded by. I mean, every single restaurant, right, that you go to doesn't really cater to healthy eating. So I think
overeating, the plate size, just everything. You just want to eat everything on the plate.
Yes, right? So I really recognize that there has to be a shift like that is foundational. And it has to start with water, starts with our air, starts with the daily products that we put on our body. Because not even leaving your house, we're already exposed to over 300 chemicals every day when we wake up. From our toothpaste to our makeup to our shampoo, all of those things. And now there's more awareness around that. But when I started practicing, it was, that was not there. So I said I needed to create something like that. And honestly, on my own, I would never be able to do that. But I'm very blessed to have a partner who really supported me on my journey to really share functional medicine with the world.
Yeah.
And then he's really good at presenting, things that I was sharing. So he was like, okay, we'll do it this way. So that's how.
He's the creator.
Right. So yes, he's the creator.
Yeah, I'm the creative. I definitely understand.
Yes. So I needed someone like that, and I'm so blessed that I have him. And basically, we grew our practice, and when we got to a place where I could expand, I expanded to here in Alpharetta. I started in Duluth, and part of the journey was really looking at, well, which products work best, because there's so many things out there.
A
right?
plethora.
Yes. And then there's so many information out there. So I self-taught myself a lot of things, just going through all of the training that I could get my hands on. And in that process, I find all the products and I tried all of them, and everything that we have in the store is like things that I have tried. And so I try it mainly because I need to know how it works, what I feel when I use these things. And, you know, I first start with just like nutrition, nourishment, lifestyle, and then I recently got into, you know, health technology, really using health technology to biohack our system to speed up our healing process, right? Because now, if you don't use it, you're obsolete. Like literally, there's so many technology and modern science. We got to be able to integrate that. So I'm very much like, you know, if I don't use it, I feel like I will be behind. And I went to a conference, and basically that's what they're saying, like as a doctor, as a healthcare provider, if you don't know how to integrate technology into your practice and using them to help patients, you will be outdated within the next 5 years.
You know, there's going to be a plethora of people outdated, and you know they're not going to wonder why, you know, patients aren't signing up and things of that nature. I went through an experience with a digital practice that basically they come to your home, take your blood, all of that. It's like a digital primary care service. Then you go in there, it's like a body scan, and literally had one MA. You go in there, and you know, I had like all my stuff done, like all my labs and stuff were done, but before I got there, and it was called, I think it's Forward Health or something.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just was super impressed because it just took way less time than no wait time.
Yes.
So technology, infusing technology into healthcare and wellness is something that people need to do.
Yes.
But I don't think that they're going to wrap their head around it, because I think they're just going to have that pad and continue to write prescriptions. Because guess what? People pay them to write those prescriptions. So that is a big epidemic that I think that we're still in today. It's some things that shouldn't be written.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna talk about a personal experience. I have a son. He's about to be 8 tomorrow. No, is he 8 or 9? I got too many. I got 3 boys. Okay. He's gonna be 8 tomorrow. And they wanted to put him on like ADHD medicine, and they wanted to test him for this and test him for that. And what I ended up doing, I said, no, my child is sick. He has chronic ear infections. Since he was 2 years old. Since he was a baby. He's 2 years old now. I said, my child is sick. Took him to the ENT. The ENT sent a nurse practitioner in. Nothing to get a nurse practitioner, but he's been this sick. No, send me. I need the ENT. So ENT came in, looked at his tonsils 4 times too big, and he could not hear you because he had 50% hearing loss due to the fluid in his ears.
Wow.
So they immediately signed him up for surgery 2 weeks later. He took a sleep apnea test. He couldn't breathe in his sleep.
Wow.
He had sleep apnea, and his breathing was stopping in his sleep. But I knew from my intuition as a mother versus them telling, oh, he need ADHD. He is tired.
Right.
He hasn't slept he couldn't sleep during the night. He stopped breathing in his sleep.
Right.
So as soon as he got the tonsils out, as soon as he got the ear tube in, this same day when he sat in the car seat, he said, Mom, I can hear you. He spoke clear as day. Wow.
You're so lucky you caught it early, because that actually leads to learning disabilities in kids that are hidden. And that's so many misdiagnoses. So good for you.
Behavioral, all that. Yeah. But I also took him to a neuropath. Is that like a natural doctor, right? Naturopathic. And he was allergic to about 12 main foods. Of course, they outgrow the allergies, but cut all those foods out the diet. The mucus stopped. Because he had his belly would hurt all the time. So many food sensitivities, and I'm just like, wow, in his behavior, everything, and he wasn't ADHD. None of those things were. But how many of us don't check our gut? We don't check. We're not like assessing our systems, and we're just accepting prescriptions.
Yes.
So what you're doing here, functional medicine is so important. And then the whole biohacking. Let's talk about that for women, because Personally, my story is I'll be 35 next week, July 11th, Cancer.
Happy early birthday.
Thank you. And recently, I'm an entrepreneur, so I've basically been struggling with, kind of like anxiety. I've always had anxiety, but yoga, I was telling her that I do hot yoga and stuff like that, have a sound bowl and things of that nature. But I think it comes with the territory of having a new business, then you're running a household and all of that. What are some things that you would suggest for, a busy, entrepreneur like myself?
Okay. The best thing I've found is tapping.
Okay.
And
EFT.
it's free.
Is it FET? I mean EFT, right?
Yeah, you just tap.
Okay.
Tap your collarbone. And this is really using the traditional Chinese medicine meridian pathway. And you're basically just sending signal to your body that says, hey, it's okay. Because if you're really in stress, you wouldn't be able to be tapping.
Yeah.
Right? You would be running, but really it's an active physical way that literally stop your autonomic system from going into the fight or flight response. Or if you're already in it, this is how you calm it down. This is how in this area here, there's a vagus nerve. And so when you tap this meridian line, it will tell your parasympathetic system, which is that rest, digest, and recover system, that is the opposite of the fight or flight response, to be activated. And when you activate that, it'll calm down your stress response and level or bring up your parasympathetic system.
Okay.
And you literally get relief within, I would do it for 5-10 minutes, and you could do it all the way up to your neck and your head, right? So that's one thing. It's very simple. It's free.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, free.
It's
free.
and so I use that. And then a lot of with anxiety, it really comes from the gut because there's inflammation. So you need to be on a good probiotic.
Yeah.
So these are just foundational, right? You need to be on magnesium. Women, we are so deprived. Yes, and then our foods are so deprived of the nutrients themselves now that even if you eat a healthy, well-balanced diet, you're still not getting the nutrients that you need. And then in stressful times, you actually need higher doses of these nutrients. So you actually need to supplement. And I know a lot of people don't really want to take anything, but in times like this, in times that we are living now, you actually have to supplement one way or another. And you could, do more natural source, plant-based source, but you got to get yourself on some good magnesium. It's naturally calming. The thing about magnesium is there's so many different forms.
Yeah, I'm like, which one?
And most of them are oxide or citrate, which doesn't get absorbed. So you need magnesium glycinate, orotate, and if you need energy, then magnesium malate.
Yeah, that's another thing, the energy piece, because you're doing so much, as you know, as a busy entrepreneur yourself, is a lot.
Yeah.
And usually around 7 a.m. 7 p.m. I'm like crashing. I'm like, I gotta go to sleep.
Yeah.
I gotta take a nap or something.
So energy, I use mushroom. We have mushroom tinctures that are extracted from fruiting bodies. And I am so happy to get this because my friend, he's known as the mushroom man.
Okay.
And he's a horticulturist.
Yeah.
But he's been trying to launch his mushroom company for a couple of years since I met him. But because he finally got it launched, and the concentration and the potency of his mushroom is so
really
amazing.
Good. I use lion's mane to focus, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it right there?
Yeah, this is what I use for energy, cordyceps.
Okay.
And most people already know what cordyceps are, but the quality of this, most mushroom products out there have a lot of fillers, and they don't use the fruiting bodies. They use a lot of the other parts of the mushroom, and you don't really get the potency. You can use a little bit of this and energy all day.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Let your stress plus fatigue melt away to make room for aerobic powder. Is it aerobic? Regular use can support respiration, mental clarity, metabolic health.
Aerobic.
I said right. Energy and stigma. This is awesome. And then this is your friend. You helping your friend.
Yes.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I like that partnership.
Been waiting for him to launch. He
grows the mushrooms.
He grows himself, and you really want to get it from someone who grows it with love. Mushroom is very needs a lot of love and care. So when you have someone who loves it like this, he changed his name to mycelium. Which,
I love it.
because he really believes in the healing power that it does. You know, and he wants to provide that for people.
Yeah.
And so I'm really, really happy to bring this we just got it this month, or last month in June. And so this is my favorite right now. But as far as biohacking, you definitely want to get red light therapy. For women, oh my gosh, red light therapy will improve your skin, right? Your skin, your energy. We have a Solex band that literally, there's the only product out there that you can wear on your wrist. It's very similar to this. This is another frequency thing that I wear, but you wear it under your wrist.
Oh, that's a big iPad. I watch.
This one sends frequency into your body. So my husband, he uses for mosquitoes. So he gets bitten all the time.
He must got some good blood.
Yeah, he produces a lot of heat. And so we try a lot of sprays. It works, but it's like not that effective. And then once he gets stung, it would bother him for weeks. This thing you could put on the mosquito sting, and it keeps the mosquito away, and it heals your sting within a day.
Oh,
I know. Well, we were just testing this out,
Yeah.
and now it works. So we're taking turns to wear it, but this is what we're going to carry.
So you're basically, this is really more than like a wellness store. It really is conscious medicine.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love that. I love that it's authentic, right? You don't come across a lot of authentic people. They can't, like you said, translate the message in the product. So that's very unique, I would say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I discovered myself, the first thing was when I discovered myself and the kind of medicine that I wanted to practice, I was going through all the names when I was starting my practice, and I came across conscious entrepreneur. And then I was like, wow, that's really amazing, right? And I looked into it, I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to bring conscious medicine to people.
Yeah.
And it's really like so that people are conscious about the choices that they make.
Call Starks Byron today for all your personal injury needs. We help professionals get back to living the life they love after a traumatic car wreck. 404-795-5115. They can find us online at Starks Byron Law. That's going to be our Instagram handle. Our Facebook is Starks Byron as well.
I am back with Rachel White. What is this? What are we looking at right here?
So this is the CTN E-Cabin full body cryotherapy.
Yes.
It's all electric, so there's no nitrogen, so that eliminates the risk of getting burnt. So it's like a big freezer.
Woo.
Right now we're at negative 249.7 degrees inside, and it's gonna get intense.
Ooh. 10 for a second.
The first 30 seconds is always the hardest. Yes.
Just like I became conscious about the choices that I make and how I practice medicine. So thank you so much for acknowledging that. It's like most people don't really think about it.
I really like that. Well, because I practice conscious parenting, right?
Yes.
So that's something that I am very big on. And let's get back to women. What about, women who have been, so I'm gonna say minority women. We've been through a lot of different traumas. It's a lot. My childhood was a lot. What do you feel like we can do to kind of heal ourselves and just kind of get past that and just live for today? Because I think a lot of women live in the past.
Yep.
And they can't live in today.
Yes.
Is that could it be a depression thing, or is it like a chemical imbalance?
Well, trauma and neglect and lack of appropriate social interactions when we were young, those are all adverse childhood events, right? And we all have them, right? And they impact the way we develop, and we actually get stuck at 5, 7 in language. So what it does to us is that it gets us stuck in that stage, and so we never fully develop emotionally from when we were traumatized. Now we have mechanisms that we develop to deal with them, and it works for the time. But unfortunately, once you're stuck, you use that same defense mechanism when you're 30, when you're 40, and you're 50. The thing is, it doesn't work anymore, because now you're dealing with different problems. but you're using the same
coping.
strategies.
Yeah, which
Exactly.
could be like yelling or like
Right,
just
withdraw, withhold,
yeah,
right,
isolation,
or avoiding, right, or resisting and forcing an outcome or manipulation.
Yeah.
We all have those mechanisms, right?
Yeah.
The most effective thing I've seen to resolve trauma is this program called the Landmark Forum. And
That's new. See, I'm
yes.
learning so much today already.
I recommend that to all of my
The
patients.
Landmark Forum.
It's a
Forum.
3-day forum where you kind of like get in with a group, and it has to be with a group because the group heal, right? But in that group, you just have conversations. You have conversations about, you know, your genesis of identity, like how you develop your identity as a human being, and it's based in ontology, which is the study of being human. Like, what is it to be a human being, and how do we get developed? How do we grow? And in that 3-day, they work through how you see life, your point of view on the world, like how your parents impacted you, and then on the last day, you really get like, oh, that's how I've lived my life, and that's how I view the world, that's how I've been communicating, and that's why I got the results that I have. That's why I have the life that I have. And then they give you the tools and say, well, now that you can see that, you have new tools to then create. And the promise they give you is you will be the author of your own life. And after I took the forum, I resolved my sexual abuse when I was younger by my 2 cousins, and the shame that came with that, and the self-hate that I had grown to, like, pretty much grew with me. Right? And it never could resolve. And then in the forum, I discovered that I made all of that up. I made all of that up. All the bad things about me, about what happened, it's just what happened. But what I made up about it was that I'm ugly, I'm disgusting, and I'm not lovable.
Wow.
Right? So when I got rid of that, I discovered myself. And like literally that was when I said, I'm gonna practice conscious medicine.
Yeah.
Because it opens you up, right? It opens you. Now I'm not held back by the past, like you said.
Yeah.
And then now I'm free to create. And since then, I've done it. I did it 6 years ago. Since then, my life has been literally what I say it was gonna be. I created everything in my life.
That's powerful. That is powerful. So you are a mom, a wife, entrepreneur, doctor. How do you balance it all, or is there no balance? I say for myself, I don't know if there's balance.
Yeah, balance is a concept, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So, and what there is really, and I did a lot of other programs since the Landmark Forum, and that's what gave me my sanity. You gotta learn to develop yourself, and you gotta learn the tools for you to manage your life. Because how you manage your life, you know, when you're just by yourself, doesn't fit for when you have a child. So you have to expand your capacity, right?
Yes.
And you have to learn.
But we can't get past the capacity of our childhood.
Right. So that's why you got to take things like the Landmark Forum or similar program. I've taken a lot of programs. I find that program is the most effective, right? And then everything that I take on, I look for programs that guide me.
Okay. So you always get like some type of group or help, like, or somebody who's done that, like mentorship.
Yeah, you have to, because leave it up to us. We only know what we know, and the access to power is getting to the things that we don't know that we don't know.
Getting to the things that we don't know that we don't know. That's a big thing.
Yeah. That's the key. It's like there are things that you don't know, but you can go and learn things that you don't know. But what about things that you don't know that you don't know? There's nothing you can do, but you gotta put yourself around the right people who will give you access to that, or put you in programs. Put yourself in programs. I put myself in a lot of training programs, and every program will level you up. And so I choose Landmark because they have so many programs, communication programs, which I think everyone should look into, because when you know how to communicate to yourself, and then you can know how to communicate to others, that's where, and then you listen. We don't know how to listen. We really don't. And when you get access to listening, that's your access to power. And the power is the power to create. You create in language. That's our power as human beings.
that we can create
that
in
we
language.
can create in language. Anything you declare, right? It happened because you declared it,
Yeah.
right? It
Yeah.
started with our thought, but the thought doesn't do anything unless you declare it and put it into existence. And you have conversations with people and you share with people like, hey, this is what I'm up to, this is what I'm doing. And then the right people will hear it and they're like, oh, that's what you're doing, I can help you. Or, hey,
Yeah.
I want to know more. And that's the power we have as human beings. It's like our ability to communicate with each other
Yeah.
and to create with each other. So
I feel like for me, I've been going in a circle almost. It's like I almost get to where I need to be, but it's almost like I get, it's a life event that happens and then I'm 10 steps back.
yep.
You know, so really, my goal this year is to break out of that, you know, of that cycle. I'm gonna be the first, you know, millionaire in my family. I'm already naming and claiming it. I'm already like one of the biggest entrepreneurs in my family already. And my grandmother, she was a politician, and she actually just passed away. And it's so funny because I see signs of her, and she was a living legend. So
Wow.
I hear her like, you got to keep going, you know, you got to keep going. And
Yeah.
so I definitely would look into that program. But I like that you said every part of your life you have looked for a tool to help you. I think that that's something that everybody can take away from this podcast, to look for the tools.
Yes.
They have a lot of tools here.
Yes.
Can you give us a rundown of a few things that you have that may help people, women, men, everybody?
Yes. This is what I discovered, that if you work on your gut, you gotta detox your gut, eat the right food, avoid the, certain food, and that is another podcast, I could say.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah, there's so much I have to say about food, but
we might do a series, okay?
but like, we really have to educate ourselves. I think what's missing for most people is they don't know the right information. And then there's so much wrong information out there that unfortunately it just is because we live in the information age. So you have to educate yourself with the right information. And the basic, I would say, work on your gut, right? You gotta be on probiotics, you gotta be on fish oil, magnesium, vitamin D. Those are like foundational, right? Because we need those for our body to work. Just like you need tools for you to perform certain tasks, our cells need very specific nutrients for them to perform their tasks. And if you don't provide them or enough of them, they're not gonna be able to work. And what they can do is they become what you call zombie cells, and they just sit around all day, use up your resources and say, I'm broken, I'm not working. Literally, that's what's happening. I like that analogy because it really works for me to see it like that.
Yeah.
And so you gotta provide the nutrients that your body needs. Once you get your gut working and you're having good bowel movement, you have to have good bowel movement because that's elimination. You gotta get rid of the waste. Then you work on detox. And then but you gotta make sure, so what I do is I make sure I deworm, like treat parasites. We have parasites. We gotta get rid of them because parasites are attracted to us because we have their nutrients. When you're filled with toxins, parasites feed on toxins and heavy metals. So do viruses. And so if your body is filled with toxins and like heavy metals, guess what? You will attract parasites, or they will thrive when they get into your system. So you gotta get rid of parasites. Then you gotta detox your liver, your lymphatic system. Then you can detox your organs and tissues. Then you detox at the cellular level. Those are the steps that I use.
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta do it in that proper order. You can't just like, I'm gonna go on a detox, and if your gut is not working and you're not having regular bowel movement 2 times a day, you're not detoxing properly, and then obviously that's gonna backfire. So I think you gotta work with someone. If you're dealing with a lot of signs and symptoms, you gotta work with someone, right? But if you deal with some mild stuff, then there's some basic stuff that we can provide here. I love Cellcore. Cellcore is it's a supplement company, but they have their own category of supplement. No one else have their technology. They use carbon technology.
Wow.
And carbon technology is where the long chain of carbon, where they don't get broken up. Once they're broken up, you can't really utilize them. And we are made up of almost 90% carbon. And so when we provide carbon for the body, that's the building blocks of life. So this is the phase 1. But
Okay.
this is basic. You literally can stay on this. It'll provide energy to the mitochondria, which is where your cells produce energy. Most of us have some kind of mitochondria dysfunction, especially when you have fatigue.
Yes.
Okay. And obviously fatigue is also can cause by poor sleep. So I focus on sleep. We gotta go to sleep like around 10 or 11. No matter what you do, if you don't get sleep like into your routine, your body will function, but it comes at a cost. So sleep is really important. So I use this, and it has a mineral. It has an ATP that helps you with brain fog. It helps you with concentration. And then a biotoxin binder that basically binds to basic waste products that we produce, waste products that the bacteria in our gut produce, and then waste toxins from our food, right? So you use that, and then it has a KL support, which is a kidney and liver support. It's very mild. It doesn't detox you. It just supports the body and kind of provide what your liver, your kidneys need to function. So I would start with this, which is like someone who just have mild fatigue, mild dysfunction. Anything more than that, like you got to do like a protocol. And I typically,
like a whole protocol.
Yeah, I typically work with those patients, and I have group programs like that people can do group. It's cost less, mainly because as a group, you also heal as a group as well. I really love working with groups because there's a power in working together and journeying together. And in that process, when we share, another thing about language, when we share, that power of sharing with each other and listening to each other, in itself, that is healing.
Yeah.
So,
I believe that. I love that. I love that. This is a great podcast. I would say I didn't expect you to be this knowledgeable. This is helping me so much. I had one other question, but I forgot it because you're so knowledgeable about everything.
Oh, thank you.
Where can they find you on social media?
I don't do social media.
She doesn't do social media, so
I have what is it? See, I don't even remember the conscious doc.
Okay.
I'm on there, but honestly, I like to spend my time just really studying, working with patients and my family. And I feel like social media would pull me away. I know it's good for my business, but I literally have been trying to get on, and I'm like, I just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And I just choose to ask my team, support me in that. I'll do later something else, but right now it just doesn't work for me to focus on that.
Just exposure one day at a time. I was going to ask you, how do you feel about alcohol, social drinking? How do you feel? I'm such a I took a bartending class last year, and it was a short-lived just side gig because I couldn't take people just getting overly intoxicated, and I just want to hear your opinion and what does it do to the body?
Okay. To me, alcohol is one of the most toxic substances that we can put into our system, and it's insidious. So it slowly kills us, right? And socially, I think wine is okay, like white wine. The thing is, there's other issues with that. But in general, I don't drink anymore once I discovered what it does to your liver. Yeah. But it's just very toxic to the liver. And the liver, you got to think of it like it does so many functions. It has over 500 functions. Detoxing is just one of them. And so if you are kind of like occupying the liver with alcohol and it trying to detox alcohol, then it doesn't really have room to do anything else, right? And it leads to fatty liver, and then you're gonna have poor sleep, you're gonna have poor energy, mainly because the liver will affect all your other organs system.
Okay.
Right? But sometimes it's like, it's there socially, one drink, like once in a while, I don't think it'll hurt. But I tell my patient, if you drink, use glutathione, use some kind of detox to go with it, so that it doesn't impact you as significantly as
so
if
they
you
put a little
use
drop or two or something in there. She's gonna biohack the drink.
Glutathione before.
You're gonna biohack the drink
after. I know.
I love it.
I know.
I love it.
I think you have to do that.
Yeah.
And even with food that when you eat out, most food is cooked with really bad oils, right? And so if you eat something, just be responsible. Like I became responsible and I was like, okay, I'll take a GI detox with it to enjoy my food, but I'll take something else to mitigate the effect.
Yeah, I love it. So it's always like you're going after like still keeping that conscious going. I love that. I love that. This has been great. I know you have other things to do, and I really appreciate you coming on. You all follow them at Besowell.co,
I believe.
.co
is the that's the store.
Come out in Alpharetta. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. I'll show a little tour of it. Thank you so much for coming on.
You are so welcome. It's a pleasure.
Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe, and go over to our YouTube to see more of the Care Girl podcast and experience. Stay well.